I'm here with Victoria LeBaum, who's been a dear friend of mine for many years. And Victoria has a new book coming out that I got a preview of, and I'm very excited about this book. And welcome, Victoria. And life must be busy for you right now because when you bring out a book, it's super busy.
It is, but I'm so happy to be here with you.
So could you just introduce yourself a little bit and let people know, because there's probably a few people that aren't familiar with your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hello there. I am Victoria LeBaum, and I help people unlock and express their hidden genius, whether that's on stage, on camera, in meetings, in their business, or in life. Taking what's inside of them that's unique and different and bringing it out into the world in the way that only you can.
The way you show up in the world is fiercely for people and for them bringing their best, brightest selves and work out into the world. And I love how you always push people to make that much better.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm all for people doing it in their own way and not hiding parts of who they really are to fit into a mold, or taking what's in front of them and just going with that, but finding what's truly within them and putting it out to distinguish their brand and their work from everyone else.
let's talk about Risk Forward, your book coming out soon, and a little bit about it and why you wrote it and who you wrote it for.
Well, the theme Risking Forward is about the idea that we don't always have to know where we're going or what we're doing to create something extraordinary. That often at times we go through phases where we're not clear. It could be that you're in the middle of a project or a plan or a path and you haven't figured out where you're going. And we always have these people telling us, what's your plan and what's your goal? And it starts to hem us in because we don't know. And this is all about, how do you move forward through the fog of not knowing? And the book gives people different tools and questions and strategies to start to unlock what's inside of them to find their own way forward. And for me, just the one thing is, I suffered for many years under the myth that unless I was clear and had a plan, I couldn't succeed. And so this book is for all of us. As I say in the start, some people in life know exactly what they want to achieve. Risk Forward is for the rest of us.
So what do you mean by Risk Forward?
Years ago, I studied with a man named Marcel Marceau, who was a great French mime. Some people know him, some people don't. And he had this type of movement, which was heart open. You were almost off balance, and it was to be fully exposed. And I think of that really as a philosophy for life, how we can move forward heart open, even if we're almost off balance. And so he called it risque avant, the French. And I then took it as a philosophy for life, and I branded it as Risk Forward.
Can you give an example for someone? Because, I've got lots of people that are watching. They're either entrepreneurs or soon to be entrepreneurs, or a lot of artists that want to get their work out there.
Yeah.
So
oftentimes we have a wisp of an idea of something that we think might be interesting. And then we look around and we go, well, no one else is doing that. Or I don't know where it's going to go. Or I'm not sure how it's going to make money yet. Do I have what it takes? Those wisps are your hidden genius at work. And whether it's our internal voice or the external voice from others asking us to define it, we tend to shut down. So Risking Forward is about following that wisp, or that what I call the inner current within us, that thing that pulls us forward even if we don't know where it's leading. And I'm sure anyone watching this, you have examples in your life where you followed something. Maybe you moved to a different city, or you signed up for Jeff's newsletter, or you bought Product Launch Formula, and you weren't 100% sure, but you took that risk forward, and it led to extraordinary adventures and outcomes. So it's about that. It's about going into the unknown.
One of the things I love about the book is, how do I put it? It's light. It's easy to read, and you get right into it, and you're like 3 minutes into the book, and all of a sudden it's got you doing some work. You just make it easy.
Thank you. We're so busy in our world right now that it's hard for people to find time to read. Every page is different. Each page is an experience unto itself, so that you never know what's coming in the book. It's an experience. And I wanted people to have fun reading it, but then have a profound experience.
And I know right at the beginning of the book, you said that you could drop in anywhere in the book. So yeah, it's a bit of a dichotomy, right? You have this.
I originally thought, well, that people will read the book in any order. And then I had early readers, and they were going through front to back. And I thought, oh, but you can read it in any order. And I realized most people actually like to read a book in order. Not me. Like, I'm the kind of person who likes to jump around if it looks like a fun book. So I decided I would make the book for both. You can read it front to back, or you can skip around.
You know, you've been on some amazing stages. I mean, I've seen images of photos of you in these stadiums of people all around you. You've been on TV and film. You have so much performance built into you. And how did that inform the book?
I came from a background in the arts. I was an actor and a comedian and a writer and a performer. I had all these different interests, which is something the book addresses for anyone who feels they're split by different interests. This book will help. I was working with artists from my performing arts world, then I started working with corporate executives, and then I started working with entrepreneurs. And I thought there's commonality among these three, because oftentimes, you know, artists think, oh, corporate, or corporate thinks, oh, entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs think, oh, corporate. So everyone sort of separates themselves. And I was looking for the commonalities. So I tried to pull from each part of my life and then create an experience that used examples from my own life from those different areas. It's intended to touch all parts of us. And we all have those in us. You know, we all have a little artist in us. We all have a little entrepreneurialism in us. We all have a little business in us, you know?
I think something else we all have in us is times where we're in the fog. Can you just speak to that a little bit, and then how to get out of that fog?
This is the risk forward piece. There are times when we're unclear of where we're going. We're between moments of clarity. The first thing I say is to embrace that. We tend to think it's wrong and we try to get out of it as quickly as we can. But in fact, when you're in the fog, it's very fertile. There are lots of opportunities. And the moment we attach ourselves to something, we say, oh, I'm going to do this. And we jump too quickly. It's like if you were standing in fog, the first thing you wouldn't do is run straight out, because you might hit a wall or a tree. You would sort of find your way out gently. And that's what this book is about.
You know, I think of it just knowing the next step, not knowing the second step or the third step or the 10th step. It's just figuring out what the next step is.
That's it. And then the next step after that reveals itself.
Yeah, it's like I remember when I was starting out, there's even back then, there's all these tests, you know, personality tests to see if you were, you know, if you're right to be an entrepreneur or whatever. And, you know, I don't think I did well on any of those tests. And you know, I had all this baggage going on in my head until I just took that first step and sent out that first email. Yeah. I had no idea, but I did. I knew it was time to get moving.
Yeah.
And I knew I had something inside of me.
Yeah. And it came from within. Like something came from within and said, it's time.
So your book is coming out soon, and people could go get it at Amazon, but you have a special, because I mean, it's great to get pre-orders for everyone out there. If you're launching a book, it's great to get pre-orders.
But we have amazing bonuses that will not be up there after the book is actually on sale. So this is the time.
Okay, so you want to talk about some of those bonuses?
Sure. Well, we have one of my favorite things on there is the V-Card system. You mentioned that earlier. We have a V-Card PDF, which shows you how to use these colored index cards like this to plan out your projects. And it's a game changer, as Jeff can tell you. Number two, I teach a listening skills workshop, and it helps the people that you care about, whether it's your kids or your colleagues or your team, to risk forward. And so that's included too. It's a 3-part video workshop on the 3 types of listening: verbal, visual, and visceral. And then when people buy the book early, they get to be part of our book team. So you get the inside, behind the scenes secrets. In fact, I just revealed one from 2 days ago from a recording studio about what happened with the book recording. And we put that in the Facebook group. So we're sharing like behind the scenes of the book launch, which is cool for anyone who wants to launch. You'll be on the inside. And then we have a bunch of others. You can read them on the page, riskforward.com/book. For everyone listening, I think this is interesting. We finished the book. I finished the book. I say we because I was an engineer. My husband came. I did the whole book, and on day 3, because it was over 3 days, I went back and I re-recorded the opening because I found my voice. It's like the book I talk about. You find your way. And so I found a place where I felt more organic, more true. And then I did the opening so it had a seamless feel to it.
Risk Forward coming out soon. Go get it now, because you get all kinds of bonuses, and this book, you're going to love it. If you're an entrepreneur who occasionally finds yourself stuck, which all of us do, if you're a soon-to-be entrepreneur and you want a book to move you forward, to get you taking that first step, or if you're an artist and you want to get your work out into the world, this is a great book. Like I said, it's light, but it's provocative. It's light, but it's meaningful. And I think it's going to make a big impact on a lot of people's lives. riskforward.com/book. Any last thoughts before we shut it down here?
Yeah, I would say this. You are not wrong for not knowing, whenever that is in your life. Just know that you're not wrong. It's a huge opportunity. So as I say, at the edge of not knowing is the beginning of the extraordinary.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you,
Great
Jack.
talking to you.